Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to episode 15 of my 6-player free-for-all Age of Wonders 3 playthrough series. In this series, I'm playing against 5 Emperor AI that are each on their own separate team, and I'm playing as the Orc Warlord, Crognash the Brutal. In our last episode, we assembled our forces outside of the city of Galendil of Orlas, who is our High Elf Archdruid opponent. And you can see here that we've kind of got a ramshackle squad here that's kind of in different parts here, different stacks. And you can see that Galendil himself is leading an army here outside of this goblin city. And he's got an army here led by 2 heroes. And then again, Galendil himself. Let's just get back to that stack. Another sorcerer hero. And then we've also got a stack of units here. So pretty well defended. And unfortunately, we don't really have the same number of units on the doorstep. We have this sort of hodgepodge stack, Crognash leading kind of my main army, and then a few other units kind of on their way over. And this is where I left off last time. And I had actually posed a question to you guys, and I had asked for comments and suggestions about, do you think I can win this battle as it currently stands? Do you think I should wait for backup? What should I do? And you guys absolutely delivered with some exceptional comments, and I'm going to go over those here before we dive into this episode. The first of those comments comes from Ahmed Sultan, and Ahmed pointed out that this is probably too risky as it currently stands. With the units that I have available to me here, I should probably wait and bring Dominus in to help me out. So just to remind everybody, Dominus is leading a stack here in the Shadow Realm currently. You can see here he's got a pretty decent army, and I can bring him back through this Shadow Gate right here, and if I do that, he will pop out right here and just hop over these mountains and be able to join in the fight and to contribute to the battle. So I think that's an excellent suggestion from Ahmed, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring Dominus in to reinforce. Ahmed also then points out that while I'm waiting for Dominus to arrive, I can do a few things to improve my odds of this battle going well for me. One of those is to actually raid this lost library. And I can raid this library using Crognash and his stack, and importantly, I can bring along a Shadow Demon Harvester that's already in the stack, and I can bring this one as well. And the reason I want to do that is because they have the ability Spawn Larva. What this effectively does, you devour a target corpse before giving birth orally to a Shadow Demon larva. The larva spawns under your control with full health. The remains of machine elemental and undead units cannot be targeted. This ability cannot be used on water, and what's kind of cool about this, it doesn't use action points, and it has a single turn cooldown. So basically, I can generate a number of extra units, and the unit that I'm going to be generating is a Shadow Demon larva here, which is in many ways kind of similar to a Draconian hatchling. When they hit max level, like gold medal, they evolve, and they also have the poison spit ability, and they do some poison blight damage with their melee strike. So very similar to kind of like a Draconian hatchling in a way. And so what I can do is I can use these Shadow Demon Harvesters to build up an army here, gain some extra units as I raid this, hopefully get some good rewards from it as well. And then the next thing that Ahmed points out, in addition to this, there's also an inn over here. So you can see in the mist here, there's an inn. And what I can do is I can hopefully go and raid it and kill the units that are guarding it and do the same strategy where I use my Shadow Demon Harvesters to try to gain some extra units. But also importantly, I can buy some units with gold from this inn to bolster my forces and make them that much more numerous and more powerful. So excellent, phenomenal suggestions there from Ahmed. The next set of comments comes from Casper Eklund. And Casper agrees with Ahmed that this upcoming conflict, as it currently stands, is too risky, and it's not worth trying with what I have, and that I should probably bring Dominus in to reinforce, similar to what Ahmed had suggested. Now, Casper pointed out a couple of things here. He does also recommend hitting this lost library to gain some extra units. However, I need to be careful. When I gain some extra units here, they're going to appear in one of the tiles around the library here. So one of these 6 tiles in the hexagon here around it. And that's important because depending on where they end up, I would like to end with my units in a triangle. So for example, here, here, and here, or the library itself and then this tile, for example. And the reason for that is because that way, if any one of them gets attacked, it brings all the units in to the battle along with them. And so I'm going to have to make sure that depending on where the units end up once I've acquired some Shadow Demon larvae, they may end up in a spot where I can't actually make a triangle with my units, and they could be susceptible to attack were Glendil to get bold and try to come out and attack me. So just something to keep in mind. And again, that's a really intelligent comment there from Casper. Casper also suggests that shifting away from this area, when we look at Carbonok, in the last episode, I had kind of pondered whether I should just outright skip focusing on the production of Orc Phalanx units here. And my rationale for that was, well, by the time I start working on them, I'm going to be very close to having my Manticore Riders ready to go, and is it even worth doing, yada, yada, yada. And I think it actually is worth doing, now that Casper has kind of pointed this out. So Casper's rationale for why I should actually produce at least a couple of Phalanx units, there's a number of reasons for it, and he points out that these Phalanxes are going to be more likely to be able to be produced in a single turn. So you can see here that they only cost about 131 resources or something like that, which isn't too bad. So that's doable within a single turn if I continue to upgrade the city a little bit. Whereas the Manticore Riders are going to cost more than that and are likely going to take 2 turns. So if I need to just spam out some powerful units, Phalanxes are a good way to go. In addition, Spring of Life doesn't really provide as much benefit to the Manticore Riders as Pillar of the Stylites does for my pikemen. So just to kind of go over that quickly, Stables of Vigor provides free movement, fast healing, and high morale. The high morale would be nice for the extra critical chance, and fast healing would be beneficial, obviously, between battles. Free movement is kind of not that important because these are flying units anyway, so really not that important. So although Stables of Vigor provides good upgrades, the Pillar of the Stylites provides very concrete upgrades like projectile resistance and +2 spirit melee damage, which is very, very concrete and very good. So I think Casper makes a strong case for me to, at the very least, work on getting at least a few pikeman units out with Pillar of the Stylite upgrades, and then I can, by the time I get there... And the other thing, sorry, that Casper pointed out is that I'm a little ways away from actually being able to produce the Manticore Riders because I still have to produce Warbreed. So this is going to be multiple turns away. So in the meantime, I might as well work on getting some decent units out of the intervening time. So excellent suggestions there from Casper. Very, very helpful. And then finally, a set of comments from Can Dennis. And Can also agrees with the other 2 commenters that I should wait for backup here in the form of Dominus, and that I should bring Dominus back to help as it's just far too risky to try this battle without him. And it's also far too risky for me to hope that maybe, and I had proposed this in the last episode, maybe I could use Dominus to go explore out in this direction over here, and maybe I'd find a Shadow Gate to bring me back to the surface world, or failing that, bring me to the underground, and then I can find a way up. But that's a lot of maybes. And there's no guarantee that even if I find a Shadow Gate and it takes me to the underground, that I'm going to be able to find a tunnel in any reasonable time frame to make it actually beneficial for me. And that's a big risk. So I totally agree with Can on this one. I think I'm just going to bring Dominus in to help. Now, the final suggestion here from Can is extremely brilliant here. I managed to get 120 knowledge income from one of the structures I cleared in the last episode. And Can points out that it just so happens I have Dread Siege available for exactly 120 knowledge. And what this would do, this is a strategic spell that would allow me to impose a -500 morale penalty to all units within a city, the city domain that I cast this on. And this would be ideal for me as I'm about to attack a city. So I'm going to do what Can suggested here, and I'm going to grab Dread Siege. And then I'm going to start researching it, or excuse me, start casting it. And next turn, I'm going to apply it here to Bleg, which is Glendale's city, and that's going to make this battle that much, hopefully, easier for me when the time comes to do it. So, a big thank you to all 3 individuals who left those phenomenal comments. I asked for some help, and you guys absolutely delivered with some excellent suggestions. So, again, thank you very much. Okay, we're going to dive in now as we have a lot to do, and I'd like to try and get this battle in this episode. Although we'll have to see how things go. Alright, first things first, let's try for this Lost Library and see if we can recruit some extra units. So what we're going to do here, we're going to move some of our units over. We'll bring this Shadow Demon Harvester along for the ride. And now we just have to decide who else is going to join the party there. We can either bring the Flyer or the Toadstool Fairy. I think I'll bring the Toadstool Fairy just to have the extra range damage. And then we will do this battle. So we're up against a couple of Evangelists who are going to be a little bit annoying to deal with, but the goal here is going to be to try to consume some corpses in order to get us some Shadow Demon larvae. But we also have to make sure that we aren't taking a ton of unnecessary damage here. That's actually something that Casper pointed out, is that when I'm doing this battle, I need to be very careful that I'm not taking a ton of unnecessary punishment. Because obviously that would be quite detrimental for me. Alright, now let's move this Toadstool Fairy up. If we get a good roll, we'll get the kill, but unfortunately we have low morale, which means we're going to probably fumble the attack, which is exactly what I was expecting there, yeah. Okay. I'm kind of hesitant to send my units in, as they're probably going to take a bit of a beating if I do that. However, I think that's probably what's going to happen there. We're just going to finish them off. You know, we could even send the Big Beetle in to... Excuse me, the Big Beetle in to tie up that unit there, the Blight Doctor. Maybe prevent them from applying a weakened. And then our Harvesters will just kind of advance them so they're ready to contribute. Okay, so they're dropping a heal there. There's that weakened, yeah. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't do it, but of course they decided to. I guess I shouldn't really be surprised. Okay. Now, who should we attack here? We could jump in there. Ooh, you know what? We can bring our Shadow Demon Harvester in and attack the Storm Sister a little bit there, which is great. And then we could move ourselves in behind here and do some big damage. You know what? I think... Let's step up once, and then we can... we do this, we're going to get the flank, and we'd most likely get the kill. However, if we're in here, I like this better, as now we're kind of tying up more units with our presence. So, let's see. Can we get the kill? Not quite. This should get us the kill. Yes, very, very nice. Okay, excellent. Now, with our Big Beetle and our Harvester here, we could start getting extra units, but if we grab this, if we consume this corpse and produce a Shadow Demon larva, I suspect that these units will just gang up and kill it, so we're not going to do that just yet. Instead, what I'm going to try to do, see what kind of... Ooh, I could light up this Blight Doctor and then finish it off. Excellent there. And then we could actually charge in there with our Harvester and start doing work. We have to be kind of cautious with that, though. I think what we'll maybe do is put our Harvester right here. I don't want our Harvesters taking unnecessary punishment, so... Okay, and there's our... Ooh, they tried to stun me, and thankfully they failed. Ooh, and we've got a unit that's stunned there. That's quite nice. So we're going to step up, kill off the Evangelist, or at least try to. Yep, there we go. Okay, now we can start consuming some corpses here. So let's finish off the Storm Sister. Excellent. Now, what we'll do is... What kind of things do we have here? I'm just trying to figure out what would be best. So we'll step over here and create 1. And create 2. Excellent. And then what we'll also do is we'll come in and try for a Frozen here. Let's see if we can do it. Ooh, no such luck. I was really hoping we would get that, as that would make things a lot easier for us. We could kind of drag this battle out a little bit. Instead, what we're probably going to have to do here is just do some damage. So I expect this unit now to suicide itself here. Oh, I guess it wasn't going to. Okay. Yeah, and unfortunately we can't try for another freeze. And our our spawn larva is on cooldown. So I guess we will just grab some experience maybe with Crognash. Alternatively, we could grab some more experience with one of these Shadow Demons, I suppose. But I think we'll just do it with Crognash. Get the kill. Alright, well, we got 2 Shadow Demon larvae out of the deal, so that's pretty good. And we got Berserk and some knowledge income, which is great. Not going to complain at all about that. Alright, so now if we send these units back a little bit, we could get ourselves into a triangle, which would be pretty good. Actually, not quite, because we can't quite get back far enough to do it. But I suspect if we have a unit up here that they won't try to attack me, but you never know. So we'll move back this way. Yeah, so unfortunately we're not going to be able to create our little triangle. Oh, and would you look at this? So the inn has already been cleared. Now that means obviously we aren't going to get the benefit of doing the battle to try to recruit some units. However, we could potentially go there and still try to purchase some units. So I think we will try to do that here coming up. And we have a few other units that are kind of moving in to help us here. Now, I think at the end of our last turn, we had moved everybody else pretty much. Yeah. Now, had we moved Trugruk as well? Yes, we had. Okay, so pretty much everybody else has already moved. Including Urkan here. And we've got some undead over there. Yeah, so things are pretty good. I think we are good to go. So now let's think about our next research. Unfortunately, that little 54 extra research isn't really going to help us here. There's nothing else I can really do that's going to benefit. If it was 60, that would have been great, as I could have grabbed Dispel in one shot. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So I think we'll do Produce Warbreed now. I want to get that going, so we're going to start that. Now we'll do our production. So back to Hrim. Hrim is our throne city here. And we could start working on a Great Beast Lair. We could pursue a hospital, which would get us closer to a palace. Although at this point, a palace really isn't going to benefit us all that much. It's just going to give us some extra casting points. I think we're going to go with an Orc Phalanx here. And up to Toldran now. Again, we are able to start producing some powerful units in this city. Oh, I forgot that this actually improves, thanks to our Orc Protector economic benefit, this actually increases our gold income a little bit, which is kind of nice. And our city happiness. That would, our infantry units would get an extra rank. However, I think we're just going to do a Phalanx here as well. Yeah, and then over to Lilac now. Lilac is currently being attacked by all these undead, which we have to kind of deal with, unfortunately. I think we'll just do merchandise in Lilac for now, as it is kind of being besieged currently. So, Dominus here, we're going to send over. So we will grab this Light Elemental here. And I think what we're going to do is we're basically just going, or our stack, I should say, I'm reuniting with his stack. I think we're going to grab this Column of Champions here so we can get a nice level up with our units. With all the units in the stack, hopefully. Alright, so what I would like to do here is try and dominate one of these units to have some extra help coming with us. However, I'm really going to just prioritize trying not to lose anybody in this battle, that's for sure. You can see our Night Guard's kind of in rough shape, so I think we're going to send him back. Let's see, what kind of range do these units have? So if we could back up one more time here and let them kind of come to us. Which I like that idea personally. Could send Dominus here. I think that would have him be kind of out of range of everybody. Well, not quite, but close enough. And then we can... You know, we could even drop some heals here on our Exterminator, who maybe we'll put right there. Yeah, let's do that. We'll heal up our Exterminator. And we'll move our Big Beetle in like this. Now, we're going to take some charge damage, of course, but I think we'll be alright. Yeah, there's that charge. Again, not too devastating. Thankfully, we're gonna have some time with Dominus to be able to heal that. What we have done now is kind of group the enemy up, though, which I'm liking that. So, let's see what kind of damage we can do here. If we come in behind, we can do some big damage here, so let's do that. And then we could probably get the finish with our Flamer. Excellent. Okay, and then our Big Beetle here can move in and assist us a little bit. We're going to move in like that, get a nice charge bonus. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to... I think we're just going to blast this Big Beetle here. Let's see, can we do more damage if we use one of our other abilities? No. What about a melee? Melee's looking good. Let's do the melee. Very, very nice. Okay. And now our Night Guard is just going to move in to protect our Flamers there. Alright. You can see our Blight Elemental really did his job tanking damage this battle. So we'll light up these half-breeds a little bit, and then finish him off and get a little bit of lifesteal back. Alright, now let's try for a Dominate here on the Big Beetle. But before we do... Oh, we can't use a Weaken. That's too bad. 60% chance. Let's try it. They resisted. Unfortunate. Well, let's finish off the half-breed while we're at it. And the Night Guard here can... I could go in for the flank. The only problem with that is that does put my Night Guard kind of at risk. So I think I'm going to hold off on that. And that also is going to at least give me an opportunity to do a little bit of healing here. Not a ton, mind you, but... And a little bit more lifesteal. Excellent. So that gives everybody in the stack a nice level up. Which is excellent. And importantly here, that's actually 2 level ups for Dominus because he leveled up normally and got the benefit of that upgrade there. So we'll do Imperial Authority to give his stack higher morale. Firebomb would be kind of nice, actually. You know, Bomb Squad could work if we put a number of expendable units in with Dominus. That could be kind of cool. But I think we'll hold off on that. Let's see if there's anything else we could give him that's really beneficial. Firebomb is a very nice ability. But we do have the option now for Destabilized Mana Core. The Mana Core will detonate. So basically, you summon a Destabilized Mana Core above the battlefield. Mana Core will detonate within 2 turns, dealing 60 fire damage to all units on the battlefield. That's kind of... If we're at a severe disadvantage, that could be really nice, but... Reassemble. Instantly reassembles target destroyed friendly machine with 35% of its total health. Target friendly infantry gains the Fire, Blunderbuss, Sabotage, and Throw net abilities until end of combat. You know, that's actually not terrible. Weapon kit would be kind of nice. You could give that to an infantry or pikeman and suddenly they have a ranged attack. And throw net. We'll take that. And then maybe we'll also grab like some extra resistance for him or something. There we go. Alright, so now let's send Dominus straight for the Shadow Gate. He'll be able to get there next turn, which is great. And that's going to do it for our turn. So let's end our turn there. So now we got to pay attention here to what happens with Galendil. And again, as soon as this flips over, the turn flips over, I'm going to cast Dread Siege on Galendil's city here. However, we are going to wait until we have Dominus in here to be able to assist us in the battle. Now, there's a number of questions that remain about Galendil. I really don't know what else he has. This isn't his throne city, obviously. This is just one of his cities, probably on the edge of his domain kind of thing. So I really don't know what he has for strength. Like, I'm assuming this is the bulk of his forces, and it looks like he made a settler there as well. I'm assuming this is kind of the bulk. Ooh, and another hero has shown up. A High Elf Warlord with a Tier 3 Griffin Rider here. Okay, we're going to have to kite these undead again. But, yeah, I really don't know what Galendil has for forces beyond this. Like I said, my hunch is that this is the bulk of his forces. But that remains to be seen. I could get in there and, you know, fight this battle, and it could turn out that he still has a number of units guarding his throne city. But I suspect that if we're able to win this battle here, it will deal a very, very devastating blow to his forces. As, again, this is like most of his heroes, and I think we'll be in great shape if we can successfully eliminate his armies there. So it's definitely worth taking a few extra turns to group up, make sure that I have kind of the full might of my forces there to make that as decisive a victory as possible. Once again, we're just running into the back corner for the 5-turn time limit here. Okay, we're just gonna get in this corner, and then that should do it for this battle. Alright, there we go. So 5 turns without them doing any damage, so that'll allow our city to live to fight another day. So we can kind of keep them in a stall there, which is excellent. Alright, so now let's kind of sort out what's all happened here, as quite a lot of things have happened. So, fortunately, we've had a first aid kit arrive for Crognash, which means he now has the ability to heal, which is going to come in extremely handy in the upcoming battle, and then leading into it as well to make sure our units are nice and healthy. We're going to throw Dread Siege on the city here to really penalize these units, and you can see just as an example, the morale of these units is now quite a bit lower. So that's really, really nice. That means we're going to have a lot more fumbles from the units here. They're going to be doing less damage to us, which should hopefully come in quite a bit of handy there. Or should come in quite handy, I should say. All right, let's jump back to the Shadow Realm, and we will get Dominus going here. I would really like to get him back through the Shadow Gate and kind of up and at him here. I'm almost tempted to leave these two behind and just bring in these units. And the reason for that is because, again, these units are going to make it take probably an extra turn or two for me to get in there, where these units that have more movement can probably get there just a little bit sooner. Yeah, so that's going to take 3 turns. You can see here that's going to take them 3 turns to get in range, whereas if I move without them, it's only going to take me 2 turns. So, I mean, it's unfortunate to not have 2 extra units, especially this Gold Metal Flamer, but that'll get me there a bit faster, and again, I don't want to give him too long to build up an army, so I think what we'll do now, though, is we'll actually send our stack over like this. And what we'll do is we're actually going to go here and purchase some units. So it looks like we could buy a Dwarf Firstborn, which I think would be a great choice. And you know what? We could even just spend a few extra gold on some extra kind of rabble units here, which would basically just be cannon fodder. You know what? We're going to do that. We're just going to spend it. We have the money to spend, so let's do it. And there we go. We've got ourselves almost an entire stack here of just kind of garbage units. I mean, I shouldn't call them garbage units, but essentially expendable units who are just going to be there to kind of soak up some hits for me, basically. And we can tell our units to just camp out. And we now have another Phalanx here who is ready to go. Now, the question is, would it be faster for him to go this way or to grab this and try and cut through there? We could grab the haste berries and try and cut through. But I think it's probably going to almost be about the same, so maybe we just send him over this way. And this Phalanx can move up. And then this Phalanx can move up. And then Heninia here can head underground. So this is what we want to take out, is this haunted boneyard there, which is spawning things that have been attacking our city. So we need to get rid of that. Alright, so now let's do Urkan. Urkan can still do his turn here. So we've got ourselves a dungeon, which I'm guessing is probably a bit too powerful for us as we currently stand. I mean, we could use a combination of Urkan's spells and our powerful units here, but you can see that our Big Beetle really isn't in great shape. So it might actually be a better choice to go down here. Maybe we can recruit a unit from the circus and see what we get. So on our way by, we'll just take a quick peek in here and see what it is. Oof. Yeah, we've got 3 Halfling Manticore Riders, Halfling Monster Hunter, and 2 Halfling Berserkers. I think we're going to avoid that. Just that's a lot of risk with our current stack. Even with Phoenix Warrior, which would give resurgence to our units, that's a little bit too risky for me. So instead, we will fight these Draconians here and see if maybe we can buy ourselves a unit from that circus. So what I'd like to do here, we've got a lot of units with quite a lot of mobility. You can see we've got 2 Raptors, 3rd Raptor over here, and then we've obviously got the Flyer. So I would like to try to use my curses to minimize their mobility. And I also want to use some of Urkan's spells if I can. So let's kind of hide back here. We'll try out the... We actually got a curse. I was actually almost hoping more for the reduction in mobility, personally. Okay, there we go. We at least reduced the mobility there. And we can send in our knight. And I think what I'm going to do with the knight is... I'm going to back up like this. And I'm going to throw... Actually, maybe Last Stand would be better on the beetle. I think I'll throw it on the knight, though. I'm going to just send the knight right up the gut here. Do some big damage in there. Very, very powerful. And the big beetle, on the other hand, I'm going to leave like this. Let's see what happens. Ooh, and I should have put that knight in defense mode rather than gone in and attacked, actually, now that I think about it. Because now he's opened all these flank hits. Which is alright, I guess. It's a good thing we gave him the extra defense so he could soak up the damage. Okay. So now we got to help our beleaguered knight out a little bit here if we can. Very nice. And we've got the Flyer who needs to be eliminated if possible. So why don't we step up and do some big damage here. Excellent. And then... Ooh, and unfortunately that turned him a little too much. We won't get the flank hit now. Kind of a shame, but we'll do it anyway. Yeah, that actually cost us. I was going to be able to kill him otherwise, but kind of unfortunate. So, sadly, we're going to just have to use our knight to get the kill. So now we'll take a flank hit from that raptor. Yeah. Oof. Boy, we actually took a lot more damage than I was kind of hoping for in this battle. Yeah, we'll use Urkan here. We'll drop a heal on our knight. And then we can step up and blast this raptor. Get the kill there. Blast this crusher. Get the kill there. And now we've just got our big beetle and our knight left. So we'll come around and do a flank here. And then we'll get the finish with our big beetle. So yeah, unfortunately we took quite a bit of damage there. That was my fault. I really didn't strategize that battle as well as I could have. And unfortunately, it really doesn't... We don't really have anything I'm that excited about. We do have a Frostling Ice Queen, which is a decent unit. It is a support unit, however. Tigran Sun Guard are a really, really solid Tier 1 unit. One of the best Tier 1 units in the game, in my opinion. High Elf Bladesman and a Goblin Skewer. So, like, yeah, nothing I'm that excited about, to be perfectly honest. Might almost be worth just ignoring this dungeon and heading straight for underground with this stack, and I think that's what we're going to do. I mean, I suppose we could just buy the Sun Guard just to have another unit in the army here. Maybe we'll do that. We'll just recruit them and continue trucking that way. And then in Lyrian, we'll just build a spearman or something to guard the city for us. Okay, now with this little undead stack, I would really like to try and take this city back. Unfortunately, there's 4 units there, which is a little bit much for us, I think, at the moment. So it would be great if I could get a unit over there to assist. Unfortunately, we don't really have anybody in the vicinity, so maybe we start sending this pikeman over. It'll be a few turns till he gets there, but it would be really nice to have some assistance. So that takes care of the phalanx from Toldran. Harab has also produced a phalanx, which I suppose we could send over there as well. Actually, you know what? I like that plan better. Let's do that. Yeah, there we go. They can get there much quicker. We could still have this phalanx come over and join there. Either that or we send this one down to try and eventually join up with Urkan's stack. But we want some extra units there to just help reclaim what we've lost. So now let's do some fighting if possible here. Whoops. I would like to go to the Shadow Realm, and we've got Trugruk here. And our plan was to send Trugruk back through Shadowgate here. We've got our lonesome Draconian city here, which is kind of unguarded at the moment, so it'd be great to at least produce something to guard the city. So we'll produce a Monster Hunter. And I think what we'll do is, yeah, we're just going to send Trugruk right through the Shadowgate once he's able to go through. This Shadowgate actually comes out underground, so maybe we'll even just scout it real quick. I can tell you that because if we look on the surface, there is no Shadowgate. So let's actually see what's through here. Ooh, yeah, okay, we've got an item rack. Ooh, and a Sphinx Temple. That would be great to raid. So, yeah, I'm quite excited about that. There's going to be some good stuff for us through there, I think. Okay. We can start casting another spell. I'm going to work on Embrace Darkness, just while I'm thinking about it. Boku produced the Untouchable. We did it at Carbonok. We did finish the Stables of Vigor. So I think now we will go with the Pillar of the Stylites, and then we can start producing some Phalanx units. We're going to be very strong. And I don't know if there's really anybody else we can move for battle, so let's just do our production here. Alright, back to Hrim. We could do a hospital again or a beast lair, but I think instead we're just going to... Honestly, I think we're just going to continue to make some Phalanx units and have them come out. I think that's probably the plan. In Toldran here, we could start producing an item, perhaps, rather than continuing to pump out units. Let's think about maybe an item that might benefit us. Like, let's just see what we could grab. Do we have the ability to do something like... Seduce would be nice. Dominate would be ideal, actually. I could give an item with Dominate to, like, Crognash, for example. That would be fantastic. I think we'll actually do that rather than produce a unit this turn. So we'll call it the Dominating Horn. So we'll have a Dominating Horn that we're going to produce. So we'll forge that. And that's going to then probably benefit Crognash, I think. Over here in Lilac, I think we're just going to continue to do merchandise for now. In Parab, we can continue to produce Phalanx units. So we'll do that. We are running kind of low on gold, so I have to be kind of cautious when it comes to that. I think here we'll just do merchandise as well. And then we've got our undead, who I think we're just going to have them hang out for another turn there while we're waiting. And we'll continue to send this unit over that way. Our cavalry here, we could go and do some scouting, but might actually be nice to have some reinforcements. You can see a spawning structure right here. Might be nice to have some extra reinforcements continue to show up for that battle. I mean, and if I send them over here as a scout, they're almost certainly going to get killed off by something. It is tempting, though, I will say, but I think we're going to just have them come to reinforce us. And we'll tell Crognash to hang out, our new little stack to hang out. That's going to do it for our turn. So now that we have a number of extra units, I think we're going to be in really good shape to do this battle, especially once Dominus arrives. I think that's going to really kind of turn the tide for me and make things go really smoothly. Although, I mean, again, this is still a fairly difficult battle for us, as we've got a number of heroes who are going to cast spells on us, and that's going to be quite the pain in the butt for us to deal with. But it'll be interesting to see what happens here in the next turn or two. Galendil may still continue to keep bringing units in to assist him here in this battle. Alternatively, he could try and summon some extra units. So, you know, anything could happen here. That being said, I suspect he won't come out to attack us, especially with Dread Siege active. I just don't see it happening. Because he does get a little bit of benefit having the city there. It doesn't look like he has a city wall. So, at the very least, there won't be a wall that's going to be involved in the battle. Thank goodness, as that would make things a little bit more difficult. So we have the undead. Again, gonna be another thorn in our side here a little bit. We'll just send our units back. So the big question is going to be, though, once Dominus is there, I mean, we're going to have to sacrifice some units in that battle. I don't really see any way around it, especially because they're going to have a number of units that kind of synergize well. A good example of that is the Goblin Blight Doctor, who can cast Weaken, and then they've got a number of Goblin units that do Blight damage. So I'm going to have to be very, very careful. I suspect what's probably going to happen is he's going to throw... Galendil is going to use his Necromancer hero to throw Stiffen Limbs on my best units. So probably on my King Shock Serpent, and also potentially on my... one of my other strong units, maybe my tier 3 cavalry that's like really leveled up or something like that. Like my big beetle or something like that. So I'm gonna have to, I may have to actually invest in getting Dispel if I can before I start the battle. That's a couple of turns away, but if I can raid that Sphinx Temple with Trugruck, that might give me enough research income to then be able to grab that as an upgrade for me. So we'll have to see. Because again, Dispel is going to be really important if he's hitting me with all these quite annoying debuffs. And we've had some domain invasions here. Ooh, and unfortunately we lost a city to some elemental units. Oh, we lost our Draconian city. See, and I thought those units were coming from the spawner down here. There must be another one over in the unexplored area over on this side. Jeez. Well, I guess shame on me for not clearing that out. I mean, now the question is, do I want to send Trugruck back over to work on this city, or should I just kind of abandon it and go on my previous assignment here? I think we really do need that research income from that Sphinx Temple, so unfortunately I think I'm going to have to kind of just abandon the city. I hate to do it, but maybe I can go back there at some point. So we'll attack this, and then we'll do the Sphinx Temple after. But before we do that, let's just sort out what else happened. So we did have our Frost Wyvern arrive, and you can see that Trugruck is now riding it, which is great for him. Extra mobility. Oh, and look at this. We've had these scoundrels appear outside of Encinia Res. That is not good at all for us. Oof. That is not good. They could cross that river fairly quickly and become quite an issue for us. So, that's really unfortunate. Although I don't know if they're able to embark. Since they're in Independence, they might not actually be able to embark, now that I think about it. Yeah, I don't think they can, so I think the river is going to protect us. But obviously there is a spawning structure in here that is producing those units. So we're going to need to deal with that. While we're here, by the way, it looks like we've finished the Obelisk of Undeath, so now we can start working on the Barrow. And just to remind everybody, the Barrow is going to give us access to the Tier 2 Archon units, in addition to Haunted Vault and Chamber of Rites, which are going to give us the the top tier Archon Revenant units, or at least access to produce them. Okay, and we have finished the Dominating Horn. So now I'm going to send that over to Crognash. Very nice. We can maybe produce another item as well while we're working on them. Alright, let's head down. Oh, you know what? We can actually make it into the domain of the city. So let's group our units up here and engage this battle with our undead here. Now that we have that phalanx, I think this will go substantially better. I just really don't think we'd have been able to do it if we only had the undead there with us. So we're going to send our phalanx up. Caster, we're going to throw a curse if we can here. Let's throw it on the Tigran. Cut their movement a little bit. Importantly, both of our pikemen and our infantry have projectile resistance. So that's going to be quite nice. You can see right here. So they're going to take a little bit less damage from the incoming ranged attacks here that are bound to fly at us. We really don't want crippling wounds to be applied to us either, as that's going to limit our movement. Be quite annoying for us. So I think what we'll do here is we'll move our pikemen into position, and we'll also move our infantry over like this. And then we'll kind of do the same with our phalanx here. And our caster can move up as well to kind of support, do a little bit of damage. Okay, so they did cripple my pikemen, unfortunately. Thankfully, the pikeman is really soaking up pretty much all the damage. So that's really good. Now we'll... Ooh, and of course they get lucky, those little punks. It's an extremely, extremely annoying ability that the halflings have. I would like to just try and kill them off, so I'm going to use my pikemen and then try for the kill here with my casters, and I got it. I'm pretty confident that the pikeman is going to be my sacrifice in this battle. I was kind of expecting to have to give up at least one unit. So we'll have them be the sacrifice. And now it's a 3-on-3 battle here. So we'll hit up the Tigrans there for some big damage. And we'll move in and attack the Dwarven Scoundrel. And then we'll move in like that. Now, I'm guessing the Phalanx is going to take quite the pounding here. Yeah. Ooh, and we resisted all the crippling wound attempts there, which is great. Okay, now let's hit this Dwarf Scoundrel. Really, really nice. Move in and get the kill. Excellent. Step up like this, and we'll finish off this one, get some greater lifesteal to get some health back. Very nice. And now we're going to take another flank hit here. Yep, there it is. Thankfully, though, we can step up and heal some undead here. And then we can use our phalanx to do a flank and get some greater lifesteal. So, unfortunately, we did have to sacrifice the pikemen, but we did get the city back. So that's going to be great for our income here. You can see that's really boosted our gold income and our research income. So very, very nice to have that city back in our control. All right, now let's go back up here and see what we can do for movement here. So we're going to head right in there. We can go here. Now we have to be careful. We almost don't want to move all the way in, but I suspect they're not going to move out to attack me. Again, that's a bit of a risky play. Maybe I'm overstepping myself a little bit there, or being a little overconfident. I suppose what I could do is move my other units over to provide some cover for me here. It's maybe not a bad plan. Just in case he decides to move out and try and attack Dominus. Honestly, I'd be really surprised if he was to do that. I'd be extremely, extremely surprised if he moved his units out to attack, because that would leave his city open. I think I'm going to risk it and leave Dominus as he is. But we'll think about that before I end my turn. Maybe I'll change my mind. Okay, and we've got Haninia now, so let's do Haninia's Journey Underground here. So we want to head over and clear this out, but our units really aren't that powerful, so it might be nice to actually gain a bit of experience before we go diving into a conflict like that. I suspect this is going to be very, very heavily defended by probably like a bone dragon or something. So, and we've got ourselves a city. So, we'll do a little exploring around here first. We could try this battle. This is going to be tough, but we do have a pikeman, a number of really powerful units, so I think we'll be okay. We just have to be very cognizant of the mobility of these draconian flyers. And again, I'd like to kind of level up the pikemen a little bit. Maybe give time for that other pikeman to join in, to get underground as well to help out. Let's try for a... Nice, that's going to severely restrict the movement there. Try the same thing on this side. Excellent. Again, severely restricted the movement. And what we'll do here is we'll actually put our phalanx right up front like this. Spearmen can move in to kind of assist the priest a little bit. Heninia here can throw Touch of Faith on our phalanx, who's going to be our main fighter for this battle. Getting hit with some fire spit. Ooh, okay, that was kind of interesting. They moved in range of my phalanx, but they're going to put themselves in defense mode. Well, let's take the bait and light them up here with our war cry. And big damage there. You can see, whew, that lifesteal coming in handy. We really didn't take a ton of damage. Very, very nice there. Now, unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with these other flyers who are now in range and going to be able to do some not-so-fun damage to us. So, we may have to sacrifice our spearmen here, unfortunately. I think what I'm going to do is, with a combination of Heninia... And I have to be really careful. I don't want Heninia getting in any real danger here. I think maybe what we'll do is we'll actually use our mounted archer as a melee unit here. Like this. Try and tie that unit up a little bit. Because again, we don't want Heninia getting killed. That would be devastating for us at this point. So what we'll do is we will try and tie up the flyer a little bit. What kind of damage can we do if we were to use our spirit attack? Really not much, even with the... if we move closer to fix that range penalty. Really not doing a lot of damage. Try a smite. It's really not helping all that much. It's got a relatively low chance of it working on top of that, so... Alright, well, let's hit the flyer for some damage. And we'll step our spearmen up like this. Put them in defense mode. Suppose we could try for a convert. If it doesn't work, I think it's still... I don't actually remember if it limits their movement if it doesn't work. The thing I'm worried about is, look at this. Charge here. Big boom there. Really not good. So, I think maybe we'll actually just put Heninia in defense mode here, because I really don't want her getting killed. So, anticipating they're going to break off and go for Heninia, potentially. Okay, and our priest taking some damage. Unfortunately, that priest is going to die. Ugh, that sucks. That was a really leveled up priest, too. Dang it. Well, maybe I should have gone straight for the, maybe I should have gone straight for the haunted boneyard rather than trying this battle first, but that's okay. We do have some other units coming to, give us a shot here at... You know what? I can try for a convert here. Oh, and we got it. Excellent there. Okay. That's fantastic. Alright. Sorry, I was kind of in the middle of a thought there when I was trying to do that. We'll get the kill there. I do have another pikeman coming to assist, so I think we'll be alright. Even though we did lose that unit, which is kind of a shame. We can light up this Elder. That's probably not going to get the kill, however. A melee attack's really not going to do much either. But if we throw a sprint on, we could get in behind. And do some nice big flank damage. And we got the kill. That's excellent. Very, very nice. We're going to take a little bit of fire damage, but nothing we can't handle. And now we can throw some extra health on a unit here. Let's go heal our mounted archers for some extra health. Very nice. And we'll finish off the hatchlings there. So yeah, kind of sloppy on my part. I did lose that priest who was leveled up. But we did gain ourselves a Draconian Flyer, which is... I'll take that as a consolation prize, I suppose. A Blight Tusk Boar here, which would give us some blight protection, which actually would come in handy. Sandals of Flight we don't really need, but we do get some gold as well, so I'll take that. And this egg won't hatch for quite a while, so at the very least, what this will do is this will give me quite a lot of blight protection. 80%, very good. And, I mean, why not? We might as well equip them for now and get floating. We can take advantage of that. So, yeah, we're going to wait for this pikeman to get down here anyway, so it's not really the end of the world. Like, we've still got this guy here who's on his way down. There we go. So he can group up with this stack. And it looks like we've got ourselves a goblin city that's going to be ripe for the conquest. So I think what we'll do is we'll just group up like this. And I think we'll just wait out the turn here. So there we go. Haninia can just kind of camp out. Now this pikeman here, we're going to continue to just send him up this way. As we're probably going to need help against some of these undead, I suspect. You know what? We can even grab these haste berries and head down so that we at least have a few in a stack here. That's kind of nice. Alright, let's see what else we got going on. So we've already moved Dominus. Now the question is, do I want to try to protect Dominus in case he moves out to try to attack me? I think I'm going to risk it. It's a bit of a risky play. I mean, if he does move out and attack Dominus, I'll have an opening to just go in right for his city. So I'm gonna play that one a little risky. So now let's do our. We didn't finish moving Trugruck. Let's do that first. So we'll jump back to the Shadow Realm here. Or actually, no, it is underground. Trugruck is now underground rather than being in the Shadow Realm. So we will go for this item rack. And we'll fight this battle, see if we can maybe recruit a unit. But we don't want to take too much damage because we've got the Sphinx Temple coming up next. And that's going to be quite a challenge for us. So we will throw Touch of Faith on our Air Elemental here. Send him up. Frost Elemental can move up. The Grunt can move up. Our Infused can kind of move up. Our Infused is kind of our expendable unit, so in the upcoming battle for the Sphinx Temple, I may have to sacrifice a unit because it's going to be very heavily guarded, as it is a... we are on strong defenders as we... if we remember that. So we'll do some big damage there, very nice. And then we can fly in and hopefully get the finish here with our cannon. There we go. Excuse me, I should say our rifle. And then let's go kill the Swarm Darter. There we go. And then we can actually move in like this. Kind of do the same thing. Put ourselves in defense mode. And then we'll go put our Grunt like this and throw him in defense mode as well. And our Infused can move up to kind of get close to these skewers here. Alright, there we go. No big deal there. We're going to move in and try for the conversion on the skewers. We got it. Excellent. So that unit can act as like a little scout or something like that if necessary. And all of our units are very, very leveled up, so I don't really need to worry about divvying up experience or anything like that. So let's just use our Frost Elemental to get the finish. So that little skewer can go and do some scouting for us, which will be hopefully come in handy. Straw Hat of the Happy Farmer. +1 defense and high morale. I think we'll take that. I was hoping for something a little bit more powerful, but hey, that's not terrible either. So we'll give that to Trugruck. Be useful for him. Oh, and it looks like we've got ourselves another Haunted Boneyard over here, defended by not one but 2 Wraith Kings, so that will be quite the challenge. Ooh, and we did get a level up here with Trugruck. So he's now level 10. Now, I think, I could be wrong, but I think at level 11 I might get access to Divine Justicars, which is an upgrade that gives all the units in my stack here, in Trugruck's stack, it gives them Resurgence. But and I believe that that costs 10 points. But I can't remember if that shows up at level 11 or if it's like level 13 or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's level 11. And if that's the case, I'm going to have to make sure I save enough points such that I have 10 available, because I'm only going to get 5 when I level up again. If you guys remember this, leave a comment in the... or leave a comment to let me know at what level do the Theocrat heroes gain Divine Justicar for their stack. I think it's level 11, and that's going to mean that I have to save some points. But let me know in the comments if it actually is different. All right, we're going to do the Sphinx Temple battle. This is going to be tricky because we've got Immolation happening. We've got a Watcher and 3 Sphinx units. And remember that our units actually do have some fire weakness. And then we've got 2 Mystics. So this is not a gimme battle by any means. This is actually going to be quite the challenge for me. Now, I suspect the Air Elemental is going to be the one who's going to have to do a lot of the work here. And unfortunately, our Air Elemental is the one who has fire weakness. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw Touch of Faith on our Air Elemental. And we're going to send him up and our Grunt kind of over here. Try not to line our units up too much. And again, I think our Infused is going to end up being our sacrificial unit for this battle. Frost Elemental, I don't want our Frost Elemental getting too far away, because I'm going to throw Bestow Iron Heart probably on the Frost Elemental. And my Mystic can move up like this. Oh, I'm kind of dreading this battle. I think I'm really going to have a heck of a time with it here, but we'll see. Okay, so they're going after the... Okay, good. They did their job at least and soaked up some damage. Tried to fear my unit, which didn't work. Thank goodness. Okay, so now we're going to have to deal with these Sphinx units. And we can move in and just outright get the kill, I think, which we're going to do here. Very nice. We got the shock, which is awesome. Makes our life a lot easier. We use defensive strike. Oh, and we got the freeze. That's exceptional. Very, very nice there. You know what? Let's throw on the War Cry and just do some big damage here. Very, very nice. And then you know what? I think we can move in and... Yeah, we can get the kill. Let's do it. Finish off that Sphinx. Excellent. And now with these Mystics, you know what? We can step up here like this. Throw ourselves in Werepanther mode. And do some damage there with Pounce. Yeah, that was a really fortunate turn of events for us there. Being able to freeze that Sphinx was extremely, extremely helpful. Okay, we'll finish off the Sphinx. There we go. So now we got to go deal with this Watcher, and there's this other Mystic back here. I think we're going to... I think we're going to go for this Watcher here. Yeah, you know, I think if we use the combination of the Grunt and the Air Elemental, we should be able to kill the Watcher without too much trouble. Or at least do substantial damage. So, do some big damage there. Move in like this. And, yes, we got the kill. Excellent. Very, very nice. And then you know what we'll do is we'll move in like this. And go for the conversion. We didn't get it, but we did reduce the movement there. And then we'll wail on the Panthers there. I think True Gruck will be okay, even though he is kind of at risk at the moment. Alright. And our Dire Panthers are going to just finish that unit off. So we tried the conversion. It didn't work, unfortunately. But now we can just drop some heals here. So we'll heal our Grunt. And then we can move in like this. Do some big damage. Got the stun there. You know what? We can actually... We'll end the turn there. Ooh, you know, I shouldn't have because of Great Immolation. We're going to take some more damage. But that gives us a chance to do more healing. There we go. And then we can get the finish here with our defensive strike. Excellent. And hopefully that's going to give us some big research bonus here. Let's see. Ooh, War Axe of Fangir, which gives us wall crushing and +4 melee strength. And then 448 beautiful extra knowledge, which I will take gladly. That actually alone was enough to produce Warbreed, so Very, very happy about that. Suppose we can give that to True Gruck. He's now got a ton of melee damage. Alternatively, we could send that weapon off to one of our heroes that's more likely to get in melee combat, but... and I think we'll just move this way, and we're going to go clear this out when we can, because we don't want that spawning units that are going to pester us. But look at that. Produce Warbreed is now done. Boy, that's fantastic. That's really going to help us out a lot here. And then, now, what I'm going to do... I have this extra knowledge here to use. I have 156 extra knowledge. My thought process here is going to be get Dispel. And the reason I want to get Dispel is because that's going to be important in this upcoming battle, because I guarantee you the Necromancer hero is going to hit me with... let's see, how many casting points does he have? He's got 15 casting points. I believe Stiffened Limbs costs 7 casting points. So I'm going to get hit with Stiffened Limbs twice. That's almost a guarantee on 2 of my units. And I'm going to want to Dispel that, especially because it's going to be coming in combination with Weakening, which I'm sure he's going to prioritize putting on the same units that he's trying to put Stiffened Limbs on. So most likely it's going to be my King Shock Serpent. So I think that means we're going to need Dispel in this upcoming battle. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to grab Dispel with those free points. And I've still got 96 left, which means I could also grab Warp Equipment just because it's a free grab. So I'll do that as well. There we go. That's two free spells for us. And I think we'll probably start working on Produce Manticore Rider as our next thing. Resurrect Hero would also be kind of nice if Dominus does get killed. But let's see. Is there anything else we want to take care of here? We're going to end the episode right away. This one's gone on. I was really hoping to get this battle in, but that's going to be for next turn and next episode. But we now have everybody here for the party. So we got Dominus. We've got our stacks here of units. Again, a little hodgepodge. Some of these were the units we bought, of course. But I think we've got strong enough stacks that we're going to be in good shape for this battle. I think we'll leave it there. That's pretty good for this episode. So let's just zoom out here. So we gained one city back and we lost another city. So kind of a trade-off there. We lost that city in the Shadow Realm. We're going to save this one here. I'm going to call this one episode 15. So yeah, next episode we're going to have the thrilling battle here against Galendil with all the forces we have arrayed there and what he's got defending. It should be a pretty interesting battle. But in any case, guys, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one.